Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss the fourth question of day 6 using Java. So, the question is to find nth prime. Here we have to write a function that will find and return the nth prime number, and here given that n will be passed as input to the function, and here assumption for this question is 1 is less than or equal to n is less than or equal to 1000, where n is the position of the prime number, and we know that the prime number is a number which is only divisible by 1 and itself. So, the first prime number will be 2 and the second will be 3, and similarly the third prime number will be 5 and so on. Here some of the examples as given. So, the first example is if the given number n is 10, then the method must return the 10th prime number, that is 29, and the another example is if the given number n is 13, the method must return the 13th prime number, that is 41. So, we will write the program for this question on Visual Studio Code. So, before I start, please subscribe our channel to get all the questions and solutions of Wipro training. So, now let us open Visual Studio Code and press Ctrl N for new tab. At first, we will write the program, after that we will see how it works. So, initially we have to import some Java packages. So, we have to write import java.io.star, and the another package is import java.util.star, and now we have to define the class name. So, let us give the class name as user main code 4, because this is our fourth program of day 6, and now by pressing Ctrl S we will save the program, and here our program name should be same as the class name. So, here we have to write same as user main code 4 with extension .java, and now we will select all files and let us save, and now we will define the function. So, we have to write public static int, let us give the function name as nth prime, and here we will pass one formal argument as an input, that is input 1, and now we will declare some variables. So, let us say count, and we will initialize it to 0, and we will again declare another variable as flag, and we will also initialize it to 0, and after that we will take for loop, and initially I value is 2, and we will write the condition if I is greater than 0 and I plus plus, and after that inside this for loop we will assign the flag value to 0, and now we will take another for loop, and here we will take the variable j, and initially j value is also 2, and now we will write the condition if j is less than I and j plus plus, and now inside this for loop we will write the condition if I modulus j is equal to 0, then we will assign the flag value to 1, and we will break the statement, and after that outside this for loop we will write the condition if flag equal to 0, then we will increment the count value. So, we have to write count plus plus, and after that we will write the condition if count equal to input 1, then we will return the I value. So, here we have to write return I, and after that outside for loop we will return 0, and now we will write the main function. So, here we have to write public static void main, and here we will pass the string args, and now we will declare some variables. So, let us say num for number and result to store the value of the calling function, and now we will create the object of a scanner class to take the input from keyboard. So, we have to write here scanner sc equal to new scanner, and we will pass the system dot in, which will represent the keyboard, and after that we have to write the message to the user to take the input. So, that we have to write system dot out.println, and here we will write the message to take the input, so we have to write enter the nth number, and after that we will read the number from keyboard, so we have to write num equal to sc dot next int, and now we will call the function, so we have to write result equal to, and here our function name is nth prime, so here we have to write nth prime, and we will pass the actual argument, that is number, and now we will print the value, so that we have to write system dot out dot println, and here we will simply pass the variable result, and now by pressing Ctrl S we will save the program, and after that it's time to run the program. So before that we have to go into the drive where we have saved our program. So in my case I have saved my program in the Java programming folder, so let's go into the folder, and now to run the program we have to write the following command javac with the file name, so user main code 4 dot java, and let's press enter, and now again we have to write java user main code 4, and here one message has came out, enter the nth number, so let's give the 3, and we know that the third prime number is 5, so our program should return 5, so let's check, and here we can see that it returns 5. So let's again run the program for another inputs, so this time we will take the input as 4, and we know that the fourth prime number is 7, so let's check, and here we can see that it returns 7, so it's correct. Now we will see how it works. At first we have defined the function named as nth prime, and passing with one formal argument as an input, that is input 1. So let's pass the value of actual argument, and let's take input 1 equal to 3, and we want to find the third prime number. So we know that the third prime number is 5, so our program should return 5, so let's check, and after that we have initialized some variables to 0, so initially count value is 0, and the another is flag, and flag value is also 0, and now we have taken the for loop, and here initially I value is also I value is 2, and now we will check the condition if I is greater than 0, and here we can see that I is initially 2 which is greater than 0, so the condition is true, so we will assign the flag value to 0, and so assign the flag value to 0, and after that we have taken the another for loop, and here initially j value is also 2, so let's take j and assign the j value to 2, and now we will again check the condition if j is less than I, and here we can see that j is 2 and I is also 2 which is equal not less than, so the condition is false. So we will come out of the loop and we will check the condition if flag equal to 0, and here we can see that flag is equal to 0, so we will increment the count, and now count becomes 1, and after that we will check this condition if count equal to input 1, and here we can see that our count value is 1 and input 1 is 3 which is not equal, so the condition is false. So we will increment the I, and now I becomes 3, and we will check the condition if I is greater than 0, and here we can see that 3 is greater than 0, so the condition is true, so we will again assign the flag value to 0, and previously the j value has been destroyed, so we will again assign the j value to 2, and after that we will again check the condition if j is less than I, and here we can see that 2 is less than 3, so the condition is true, so we will enter into the loop, and we will check the condition if I modulus j equal to 0, and here we can see that I value is 3 and 3 modulus 2 is not equal to 0, so the condition is false, so we will increment the j value. Now j becomes 3, and we will check the condition if 3 is less than 3, so the condition is false because 3 is equal to 3, so we will again come out of the loop and we will check the condition if flag equal to 0, and here we can see that here flag value is 0. So the condition is true, so we will increment the count. So now count becomes 2, and after that we will check the condition if count equal to input 1, and here we can see that our count value is 2 and input value is 3. So this is not equal, so the condition is false. So we will again here increment the I value. This time I becomes 4, and now we will check the condition if 4 is greater than 0, and here we can see that the 4 is greater than 0, we know that, and now we will enter into the loop and we will assign the flag value to 0. So now flag is equal to 0, and now we will again execute this for loop, and here j equal to 2, so j will be updated to 2, and now we will check the condition if j is less than I, and here we can see that j is 2 and I value is 4, which is means 2 is less than 4, so the condition is true. So we will enter into the loop and we will check the condition if I modulus j equal to 0, and here we can see that I value is 4 and j value is 2, and 4 modulus 2 is equal to 0, so the condition is true. So we will assign the flag to 1. So here now flag will be updated to 1, and after that here break has given, so we will come out of the loop and we will check the condition if flag equal to 0, and here we can see that flag value is 1, so the condition is false, and we will check this condition. So if count equal to input 1, so here we can see that our count value is 2 and which is not equal to 3, so the condition is false. So we will again increment the I, so this time I becomes 5, and we will again check the condition if 5 is greater than 0, so the condition is true because 5 is greater than 0. So we will again assign the flag to 0, so now flag becomes 0, and after that we will execute this for loop. So here initially j equal to 2, so after that we will check the condition if j is less than I, means 2 is less than 5, so the condition is true. We will enter into the loop and we will check the condition if I modulus j equal to 0, and here we can see that 5 modulus 2 is not equal to 0, so the condition is false. So we will increment the j value, and now j becomes 3, and now we will again check the condition if 3 is less than 5, so the condition is true. So we will again enter into the loop and we will check the condition if I modulus j means 5 modulus 3 is equal to 0 or not. So 5 modulus 3 is not equal to 0, so this condition is again false. So now we will again increment the j, so now this time j becomes 4. After that we will again check the condition if 4 is less than 5, so the condition is true because 4 is less than 5. So we will again enter into the loop and we will check the condition if I modulus j means 5 modulus 4 is equal to 0 or not. So of course 5 modulus 4 is not equal to 0, so this condition will again false, and after that we will again increment the j value, and this time j value becomes 5, and now we will check the condition if 5 is less than 5, so the condition is false because 5 is equal to 5, not less than 5. So we will come out of the loop and we will check the condition if flag equal to 0, and here we can see that flag value is 0, so we will increment the count, so this time count becomes 3, and now we will check this condition if count equal to input 1, and here we can see that our count value is 3 and our input 1 value is also 3, so this is equal, so the condition is true. So we will return I, and here we can see that our I value is 5. So and we know that the third prime number is also 5, so our answer will be 5, which is correct. So please do like and share this video and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching.